views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rina Valentin, your host de Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we learn about a woman who's sharing her journey and faith in God with others through her book, AM Conversations with the Father. Then we'll be joined by this month's featured artist from Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y, Dennis Shelton, to get a peek of his exhibit, The Artistic Journey. After that, we'll speak with multi-talented artist Lucretia Berry about her upcoming one-woman show performance, Tubman. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And finally, our Open Artist Spotlight will feature the classically trained singer and composer Margot Staniszewska. Yes, I know I got that right. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is coming your way because now we are officially open. Welcome to Open. I'm Rina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, Insta Stories, LinkedIn at Rina Valentin. So our first guest today has been a featured speaker at Yale University and the City College of New York, and that's just to name a few, as well as several Bronx events for our borough president, Ruben Diaz Jr. And she credits her journey through life so far to her unwavering faith in God. And her book, AM Conversations with the Father, details how she made it through the hardships in her life through her morning talks with God. And joining us now to tell us more, we welcome author, evangelist, Nitisha Moore. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you, and I think this is a wonderful time to share this kind of messaging as everyone kind of gets into extreme reflective mode during the holiday season.
Absolutely. This is actually my love journey. It's me talking about and sharing with the world just how I made it through, as you said, difficult times in my life. I went through a very dysfunctional childhood. I was abused physically, mentally, and sexually. That began at the age of 6. And that just leaves a person with deep-rooted issues. And I had just been working in the church and serving in my community. But behind all of that was a really deep-rooted hurt. And so I wanted to share my journey because I kept coming in contact with people who really were living life in pain.
Wow, that's brave. That is really, really brave, all right? So, I mean, to put it in writing for other people to have access to your inner thoughts.
Yeah, it is. It has been a very scary journey, but it began with the fact that as I began to run into people, I just felt like these people need to understand just how having real conversations, not hiding from them, not pushing them down, but having these real conversations with God can bring about a healing, a deep healing that can help you to live a truly joyful and authentic life.
I love that, joyful and authentic life, right? Because I get you in the sense of like we walk around in a society that teaches us to suppress our emotions and to hide and to wear masks. And although we do wear various masks throughout our different, aspects or departments of our life, right? Because we're the same person from an authentic place, but in different situations, we wear different masks. But the truth is like at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and what is your truth? Is your truth a truth of hurt or is it a truth of heal?
Who is your narrator? You know, who's narrating your story? Is your pain narrating, you know, the story of your life? Or is your faith, is joy, is the truth of where you are today? And the reason why this became so important for me is because I didn't want to continue to allow people who I was coming in contact with to remain in yesterday. I start off my book talking through the lens of a 20-year-old woman who was still speaking in her 6-year-old pain, through her 6-year-old voice. And I realized that I had broken relationships. I didn't trust my husband with my daughters because of the sexual abuse. I literally just went through so many emotional things. And so while I looked like this successful woman on the outside, internally I was broken. And there was a trail of that brokenness that was following me. And so what I felt.
And so, like, just to participate in what you're sharing is like in that trail of that brokenness, what that brokenness is that in essence eventually does is it repeats itself.
Absolutely.
And you're attracted in a different form, even though it doesn't look the same.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you make decisions based on a temporary situation, and you make permanent decisions based on a temporary place that we don't deem as temporary. But it's about really just being able to grab a hold of our faith. And for me, it's my faith in Jesus Christ. And so it was grabbing onto that faith and every morning confronting myself and asking myself some really, really deep issues. And as I was communicating with God, I realized that as I listened to how I was communicating, that I heard my brokenness through how I was speaking.
Right.
That also showed how I related to my husband. It showed, and if I wasn't careful and if I didn't seek healing, it was going to also reflect in how I dealt with my daughters.
Right, and then of course, once again, the cycle repeats itself. So here's the one thing I you know, unfortunately, I didn't get the book prior to this conversation, but I noticed that the book itself is small, and so it's a quick read, but it seems to be something that you refer to.
Yes, absolutely. And so it's a devotional. What I wanted people to be able to do was pull this out and look at whatever day. I talk about trust. I detail for you
so it's
my
listed
difficulty with
in
trust.
days of like Monday, Tuesday?
It is.
It is.
And this is my proof. And so, you know, this is not the final product. And since then, I've also added more content to it. But it does. It deals with strength. It deals with trust. It talks about, you know, fear of hope.
Yes.
It deals with, I have one in there called Snake Bite, which I love because it deals with what is driving our attractions. You know, when we've kind of been bit by something that's unhealthy for us.
Right.
And we know it's unhealthy, but we need that instant gratification.
Right.
So we continue to go to it. Come on, as women, we know that man that was no good for us. But because
and
we
in
need
denial.
it.
Well, you know, it becomes normal.
Yeah.
And that's the part that needs to be addressed. It's like, well, everybody has a different normal.
Yeah, well, it's because of what's driving the need. So in my case, what was driving the need was I wanted to feel loved. I wanted affirmation. I needed validation because my mother didn't do that.
Right.
And so for me, it was chasing this lust, this desire, this need for validation and for affection and for love. And so although I knew it was no good for me, I kept going to it. And so I talk about, you know, snake bite. What have you been bitten by?
Oh my gosh, we
that
can go on
has-
about this all day long, and you know, I would love to, and I'm going through this, and I feel you because at the end of the day, we're talking about our supplements, right? How we supplement pain.
Absolutely.
And this is a way of taking the pain and digging inside and spewing it out. I can't find a better word.
But more importantly, I'll say this, more importantly, it is a love, and I'll call it my love journey. It is about a God who pursues me through everything that I had gone through all of my questions, through all of my fears, through all of my hurts. It is a love story. And so you're right. This is the appropriate season for it as we approach the birth of Jesus' birthday for Christmas.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being with us,
Absolutely.
Natisha.
My pleasure.
Oh my goodness. This is AM Conversations with the Father that transform the heart, mind, and soul. I'm looking forward to reading it. I hope you will too. All right, for more on Natisha and her book, you can check out her Facebook page, AM Conversations with the Father. We are taking a quick break, but coming up, we'll be joined by Bronx artist Dennis Shelton to learn about his solo exhibit, The Artistic Journey. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Open, everyone. Don't forget to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNetTV and tweet me too at Rena Valentine. So our next guest began his love for creating and sharing his art at an early age. And since earning a degree in art education and a master's in graphics, he has spread his love for art by teaching it to the youth in the Bronx. Now retired, he's been able to focus on making art work. And he is this month's featured artist at Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y. And joining us now to share more, we welcome Bronx artist Dennis Shelton. Hello and welcome.
How you doing today?
We are fabulous.
Very good.
Love is in the air.
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
It's
it
the
is.
season.
Thank you.
And no, thank you. Thank you for your service to the next generation all these years. And
Yes.
and now you're giving it to yourself.
I can't wait.
And you know what I want to share about? Just because we're going to open up this conversation about, I guess, transitioning, why don't we open it up as such? Like, just tell us a little bit about all your years of dedication, really quickly, though, like a brief synopsis of it, and leading up to now being an artist that's exhibited.
Well, it started back in 4th grade. I was given a bag of unrelated wood pieces.
Oh, nice.
Like-
I don't
like
know if they can
such.
capture this.
And I was told to put something together.
These are blocks.
Yes, and it was a challenge, but I made a covered wagon and a horse, and it was selected for a Lever House. I won an award, and that was back in 4th grade. So believe it or not, it all started from putting wood pieces together like this.
And as I put them on, as you speak, I'm paying attention. And you
Yes.
know what really excites me? That my daughter's in a progressive school, and this is part of one of the options of her work time.
Well, this is not just putting wood pieces together. You're challenging your math skills, your architectural skills, your creative abilities. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Right.
And so from that, you then became a teacher
Yes, at the John F. Kennedy High School in the Bronx for over 30 years.
for over 30 years, and thank you for your service.
I appreciate that.
And so, in the
I
artwork,
still have my ID
you
card.
still have your ID? You still walk around with your ID?
No, I don't walk around with the ID, but I still
You
have
brought it?
Yes.
Oh, look, he's a proud Kennedy High School teacher.
Yes.
That's
yes,
awesome.
I am. Kennedy was an awesome school.
That's so awesome. I love it. And I hope your students are watching so that they can be proud of you too.
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are as well. Just in viewing some of your work, one of the things I noticed is that you honor women.
Yes, I do.
I love that.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about your imagery and this exhibit and what inspired it. Is there a
Okay.
theme behind it?
Right now, there's not a theme other than joy and color and life. I would say that would be the theme.
That would be the
Yeah.
color, joy, and life.
That's correct.
So as we look at some of the images, perhaps we can just talk a little bit about what I guess you were going through in that
Okay.
moment, and
Okay.
maybe we can talk a little bit about how long certain pieces take you, because I was looking at the series and I saw owls, and then I saw women, and then I saw, like, there's a folklore like feel to some of your work.
Okay.
Even a Native American, I was able.
That's very.
yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm impressed.
Oh, nice. Can we look
Yes.
at the images so that we can talk about them?
Where would I be able to see the
Oh,
images?
well, they're going to be coming up soon.
Okay.
And so in the meantime, let's talk about the fact that, here they are.
Okay.
Here they are, yay.
Oh, wonderful.
So let's talk about my insight. That gave me a native feel.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Very good. It's definitely a Native American influence, African influence here.
Uh-huh.
Those are made similar to this. The unrelated wood pieces, I don't cut any pieces. I just assemble as I find them.
Uh-huh.
That was a show at the Ethical Culture Center up in Riverdale as well.
Lovely.
Yeah,
that
thank
was a
you.
little taste.
Yeah.
It was a little taste. However, I just love the fact, okay, normally when we have artists come, they have a certain theme or certain things that inspire them, and everything that they create kind of relates to it. And
Okay.
so what I guess you just clarified for me is that these blocks are incorporated in your work
Yes,
somehow.
they're still
some way.
incorporated.
That's very interesting,
Yeah.
right? So let's talk a little bit about the research or the background that you do in incorporating, let's say, Native American, African influence into your work.
Well, I'm influenced by Matisse, Cézanne, and David Hockney. And so I do a lot of composites, and I work with a lot of patterns, and I tend to work with African patterns and Native American influences.
And so I wish we had seen the women. I don't know. Hopefully we can show some more images.
I'm surprised you don't have the Matisse.
The Matisse?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we'll be able to show that. But in the meantime, we can look at what you have on the table.
Well, I was in St. Martin's. I go once a year. These are all inspired by St. Martin.
Okay.
I haven't worked in watercolor in quite some time.
When you say St. Martin, the French side or the Dutch side?
I'd stay on the Dutch side, but I visit the French as well.
So are you influenced more by the Dutch or the French side?
That's a very good question. I would have to say the French side.
The French side? Oh, we're looking at other images now.
Oh.
Okay, there's the woman.
Yes.
Wait, we'll get back to this.
Okay, the first one was called Woman Goddess, and
Right.
this is called Mother of Earth.
Are they related to you in any way? Or influenced by anybody related to you?
I was raised by women, my grandmother, my mother, my aunt. So women have always been an influence in my life, and I guess I celebrate women.
Yes.
Yes.
I saw it.
Right.
I saw it. Beautiful. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that.
Thank you.
So we're back to St. Martin.
Yes.
So-
This is the view from my resort,
and that was on the Dutch side.
the Dutch side, yes. This was a meal. We can skip that.
What is that?
That's a tuna. I can't remember the exact name.
Trying to see if maybe, okay, well, I'm putting it closer to you so that
Okay.
we can get it in the shot. That was a tuna?
Yes.
That's food, huh? Okay. And
Yeah.
this?
This is a garden that was there,
Uh-huh.
a flower arrangement.
I love the details in your work and the colors. They're so vibrant.
Thank you. Everyone speaks about the color. Yeah, and this was a design, actually two designs that
I see the
worked
palm
on.
tree in there. Or a palm, what are those, the branch? that-
Yes, yes,
It's not
yes.
a palm tree. It's a plant. I don't know the name of it. But
You have a very good eye.
Well, I love art. I collect art myself.
Okay.
And I'm always fascinated by
Okay.
just what's really going on in the artist's head. And,
Right,
and
right.
I try to visit wherever it is that
Is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I mean, isn't that the whole point
But
of
this,
art, right?
this I really enjoyed the flow
Right.
and the integration of color.
I love it too.
Yeah.
And it definitely lends itself to the Caribbean islands as well.
Of the colors, of course.
Yes, yes, yes. I wouldn't identify it automatically with St. Martin, but because there's something about it that kind of makes me think Trinidad.
Oh, well, I was in Trinidad back in the 70s.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have
so,
to go back.
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I'm happy you saw the show at Gallery 18.
Well, I got to tell you, we showcase a lot of the artists that are exhibited there, and it's our absolute pleasure to be able to share with our audience,
Okay.
and we hope our audience goes and exhibits your work. It's going to be on display until December 29th,
That's
right?
correct.
And so let's talk a little bit about the gallery hours, just so that people, they can just go.
Yes, they could just go at any time during the daytime hours and just say they're there to see the show, and they'll be more than happy to open the doors for you.
Okay, and the artistic journey itself, just the title?
Well, it's really a retrospective of my work. I have work from my high school days, my college days, and my present work.
So it's almost like your life in art.
That's correct.
Beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Oh,
being
it's a
here
pleasure
with us
meeting you.
and sharing that with
Yeah,
us today.
It's a pleasure.
Wonderful. Once again, you guys, Dennis's exhibit, The Artistic Journey, is happening now. It's on display now through December 29th, and that's at Gallery 18 at the Riverdale Y, which is located on 5625 Arlington Avenue in the Bronx. And for more information, you can call 718-548-8200. All right, we have to take a quick break, but coming up, we'll get the scoop behind a one-woman play reimagining the story of Harriet Tubman. Don't go anywhere.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. And make sure to stay connected with us, that's right, by liking us on Facebook at Open Bronxnet Television. So, Karine Pogosyan, a concert pianist, holds a commemorative concert each year on Ludwig van Beethoven's birthday. And this coming year, Karine is preparing another annual concert as a benefit to help the Music Conservatory of Puerto Rico in San Juan. Bronx reporter Arlene Makoko has the story.
She holds a concert each year recognizing the birthday of Beethoven, but this year it's different.
Well, I have been watching the current events with tremendous anguish as far as the reaction to the disaster in Puerto Rico.
Pianist Karine Pogosyan is rehearsing at her alma mater, the Manhattan School of Music, in preparation for her annual concert, now a benefit concert, to help the Music Conservatory of Puerto Rico in San Juan. After searching for a school, she connected with the music director, Pedro Segada, who shared the school's need for a power generator to conduct daily classes. Joining her effort, violinist Yi Yang Lee, a student at the school, and first violinist Julie Lawrence.
Well, when Karina asked me to play for this, I just thought it was a wonderful opportunity to give back to other musicians who have suffered a big hardship in Puerto Rico, and so I'm really happy to be able to give my time.
This is a wonderful, really wonderful team, and it's a really good chance for me.
Music is about entertainment, but it's also spiritual, and it's about expressing, communicating our feelings towards each other.
Also part of the quintet, bass player Morten Kahn, who's collaborated with Karine in the past and who called her choice of Beethoven's Piano Sonata in E minor, Opus 90, and Piano Concerto No. 4 in G major, Opus 58, fitting.
Beethoven in particular, when he wrote, for example, the Ninth Symphony, was trying to raise us all up, but that we're all brothers and sisters. And his music has a lot of that here. So I always feel that when we're playing Beethoven in particular, so I think this is particularly relevant to trying to take care of the poor people in Puerto Rico.
Also donating time, Melissa Eisenstadt, who worked in IT on Wall Street while playing the cello, now an instrument she uses to give back to the communities of this city through the New York Youth Symphony. She shared this on Karine's resolve to help the music school in Puerto Rico.
Her talent, she's fearless to just get in touch with this head of this conservatory and make it happen. And I've played in an orchestra that she's performed with, and she's such a gifted artist, and to get to know her personally has been amazing.
And viola player Brian Thompson is pleased with the opportunity to help another conservatory.
I can only imagine if something similar had happened here, instruments would be destroyed. I mean, everything would be in flux. So I just hope we can do something to help.
After reaching out to Segada, whose website carries daily updates for students, Karine shared this on his reaction.
He was incredibly happy. He was so grateful that this will be happening.
To catch their performance, they will be at Broadway Presbyterian Church at 114th Street on December 16th at 7:30. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
Thank you, Arlene Makoko. Welcome back to the studio. Our next guest is a talented performer who grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, but has begun to make a successful career under the bright lights of New York City. She's currently in a one-woman show called Tubman, a play about the reimagined story of Harriet Tubman. And joining us now to share more, we welcome actress and creator of Tubman, Lucretia Berry, a.k.a. Barry. Barry looking Betty Barry.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, lovely to have you here in the BX, right?
Yes, BX, Boogie Down.
Right, Boogie Down is your new home, right?
Yes, new home.
New home. How long have you been in the new home?
Well, I teach in the Bronx and Uptown for the past 14 years, so I consider it my home because all my babies and all my students are from the Bronx. But I currently don't live in the Bronx, but I feel like I do because I'm here weekly, 3 to 4 times, 5 times a week. I should live here.
Well,
help me out. Hold me
well,
up.
you practically do live here
I
because you
practically
spend
do.
most of your time
I
here.
spend most
You
of
just
my
don't
time.
sleep here.
I just don't
That's
sleep
it.
here. That's
yeah,
it.
but
That's it.
you do live here. So
I'm an honorary resident.
yeah, you're an honorary Bronxite?
Yeah,
Okay,
Bronxite.
right, got it. So, no, it's all good, right? Because here's the thing, it's interesting that we still acknowledge the fact that you're from Kentucky, but you done lost that accent.
Well, contrary to popular belief, I appreciate that because everybody I meet is like, "Are you from Alabama?" And I was like, "No," but it's okay.
Well,
I'm
it's
mixed.
mixed. It's
I'm
mixed.
a mix.
It's mixed.
Yeah,
It's got the urban flavor
Yeah,
in there.
I got
so
the
it's
flavor.
Like, it's an urban Southern draw.
Yes,
you know?
urban.
Urban.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about the South. Let's talk about history.
Yes.
And let's talk about what inspired you to reimagine the story of Harriet Tubman.
I think me growing up in Kentucky is always a big factor in all of my shows and what I create. But I also feel like, too, because of all of my work in Harlem and in the Bronx, I feel like a lot of the students that I teach, especially black women, black young girls, and women of color, tend to be overlooked and mislabeled and over-policed and criminalized in schools. And so this is kind of like a love letter to Harriet Tubman and the girls that I see on a regular basis. So I feel like that inspired me, as well as the history of women, black women in this country, and I just feel like I'm one too, and I see myself in the girls that I teach.
I feel you, and so the timing is so apropos as
Yeah.
well. And so I'm the language, right? Because okay, so here's the thing. I haven't seen it, right? I didn't get a snippet of it, no script, no nothing, so I start reimagining, right?
Okay.
And so my reimagining is like, okay, so now we're gonna use the metaphor of like tunnels and portholes into coming back into this time, and yet seeing history repeat itself.
So I think for me, I stuck on her idea of dreaming, because I feel like Tubman was a very futuristic woman. She thought of freedom and saving people that she was close to, and I felt like I really wrote that into the script, where she focused on dreaming and saying, what's beyond this wall, what's beyond Maryland, what's beyond this country, what's beyond the family that's right in front of me. And so for me, I felt like, well, there are a lot of girls who might be Tubman on the inside, but people don't see that because they might be a bit rebellious or stubborn, or they're questioning why they're put in these positions in the first place. They're using their critical thinking like Tubman would. And you know, I looked up things at Tubman, and she had epileptic seizures and blackouts and dizzy spells. And so girls in 2013, she was suspended for sleeping in class. You know, there was a book thrown at her head because she had sleep apnea and asthma and diabetes, and she was thrown out of class. So to me, I feel like Tubman would be right there in the midst of it all, and maybe we wouldn't see her in the same light as we did in 1849.
Interesting.
You know?
What an interesting assimilation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, right? Because now it played on the young lady's psyche, right? That she has a health issue that she may not have even known about until after the fact.
And then the health issue is not even something that what came with her at birth. It happened because a slave owner thought she was lying, so he threw a weight at her head, and from there.
Oh, we went back to Tubman. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
yeah.
no, I was talking about the
But
young
even the
lady.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the girl. So I feel like she was, you know, she had been under abuse because she's in a foster care home, and so I'm sure she had. I'm sure she had associations. I'm sure she had associations with violence in her life, and just having to deal with the repercussions of that. So yeah.
I like that. So, there's a parallel to like society now. That's hot.
For sure.
And you're doing every single character. How many characters are there?
So there's 7 characters. There's the reimagined Harriet Tubman, AKA Araminta, and then there's me as her teacher, and then there's like 4 or 5 other teachers that have to deal with Araminta on a regular basis and their thoughts about her and what they did to, because she's facing expulsion right now. And because she's facing expulsion, Miss Berry or me wanted to get to the bottom of it. And even though Miss Berry is not the best teacher in the entire school, she does feel like there's a connection she has with Araminta or Minty, and she wants to get to the bottom of why this girl is not succeeding the way she should be.
Araminta.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, it's coming
this
together.
This is really well
it's
thought
coming
out.
together, yeah.
This is really well thought out. Okay, so what age range does this show really cater to in demographics? Because it sounds like you're trying to elevate the next generation, but I don't want to make assumptions.
Your assumption is correct.
Okay,
This is when
awesome.
assumptions are perfect.
Awesome.
But I would say all ages, but the ones that really get it are middle school and high school students and
Nice.
beyond. So I would say 6th grade to 12th. But I do think that I had toddlers and younger people come to the show when I debuted it in Kentucky, and they were like singing the songs. So if they got the songs and the songs are just as powerful as the words, then I feel like that's just as powerful as somebody who's getting the actual context.
All right. So,
Yeah.
oh man, this is hot. So, are you doing a run or is it a one-time performance? Like,
So
what
I've
do we have
been,
here?
so yes, thank you for asking that. I've been performing it since February. I debuted it in February of this year, and then I've been performing it all over the country since that time. And now tomorrow is when I'm performing it for the end of 2017, but I have more dates in 2018 because it's not even a year old yet.
Okay, so when you say tomorrow, just to be clear, because we're on tape,
Yes.
we're talking about December
16th.
right?
At High Arts in the Upper West Side
Mhm.
on 96th between 2nd and 3rd Avenue, and it's at 7 o'clock p.m. And we also have school shows on the 18th and the 20th as well.
Okay, so when you say school shows, like, do schools do they seek you out and book you? Like, how does that work? Because it sounds like, for me, you know, and if, in case anybody's watching, it sounds like something that would really assist in history.
Yes.
In teaching history.
For sure.
In the urban community.
Exactly. And so my goal is to get into as many schools, community centers, and I would even say detention centers too, to really elevate and see what are solutions to the problems that we've been challenged with for the past 200 years.
All right, so where can people go to like see a snippet of it or like just get the gist of what your messaging
I'm
is?
all over the place.
Well, we know you're all over social media.
Social media
but,
all day.
I'm just saying,
Yes.
you know, we got to keep up with the millennials.
Yes, we got to keep up with them.
That's what I say all the time. I'm like, I got to keep up with the millennials.
Got to keep up with the young folks. But I'm on YouTube. You can follow me on YouTube at Lucretia Berry, and you can see snippets there. And also, I'm on Instagram at Berry & Co. and also Air Tubman. So those are the places you can find everything that I talk about and inspire and, you know, being empowered and all those things.
So if someone is interested in participating or attending the show, is it open to the public?
It's open to the public,
Okay.
and you can pay at the door. It's $10.
Okay, so where exactly is that location?
It is 215 East 99th Street on between 2nd and 3rd Avenue, and it's in the PS 109 Art Space.
Oh, yes, that's Art Space 109.
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
Oh, yes, we love that space.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go. There
That's
you go.
lovely.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I'll
Great.
be there.
Yes.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, Lucretia. I'm sorry, I meant Berry.
That's okay. I'll take Lucretia too. That pays my checks.
You guys, once again, for more information on Tubman and Berry or Lucretia, you know, depending on the day, you can search her out on Instagram at Air Tubman. It's Air Tubman, right? And for more on Lucretia, you can also go to her Instagram, Berry & Co. Berry & Co. There you have it. Stay tuned, you guys, because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary. But I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. We've all been misunderstood. I'm not a fighter.
I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
The right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
Baker Mayfield walked onto the game of college football, and tonight he walks away with the Heisman Trophy. An unconventional route indeed for the University of Oklahoma star, who began his career as a walk-on at Texas Tech, suffered an injury, transferred to Oklahoma, has been a serious contender for the award the past few seasons, and won it this year, becoming the first walk-on to ever do so.
There was no way I could ever imagine how this feels right now. You know, it's the highest honor you can possibly receive, and it's unbelievable. Like you said, it's a dream right now, and I'm just trying to enjoy it. Luckily, I got my family here and coaches and some friends here to enjoy it with me.
For any coach, to have a chance for your guy to be standing here, you know, to win the Heisman Trophy, and just to do it, you know, kind of at the end of such a long journey that we've had together. That's a proud moment. That's certainly something that I'll never forget.
The 83rd Heisman winner is one of 7 players to finish in the top 5 of the Heisman vote 3 times. He's also the 37th quarterback to win the Heisman. This season, he completed 71% of his passes for 4,340 yards and 41 touchdowns for a passer rating of 203.8, the best of all time.
We got practice 11 a.m. on Monday. You know, we came back trying to win first a Big 12 championship, which we've done that, and then now have a chance to compete for national championships. So Baker, the rest of our team, will be solely focused on that.
I've always been a person to show my emotions, to be bluntly honest. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud of what it's taken to get me here, and then I'm also proud to say I've had a lot of help along the way.
Now turn his attention to New Year's Day and the Rose Bowl, where he and Oklahoma will face Georgia. Mayfield is 34-5 in his college career. Should be a great game. Back in the Bronx, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl kicks off at Yankee Stadium on Wednesday, December 27th. Boston College and Iowa will meet. That game gets rolling at 5:15 p.m. Our BronxNet cameras will have you covered. The bowl games begin this weekend. 39 bowl games on tap over the next 2 weeks. Clemson and Alabama are also among the favorites for the national championship. They meet in the other semifinal in the college football playoff. On the NFL gridiron, 'tis the season in New York for second-string quarterbacks. Both the New York Jets and the New York Giants will likely get a look at the depth chart as they close out non-playoff seasons. The Jets came undone in Denver last Sunday. The Broncos snapped their longest losing streak since joining the NFL in 1970 with a 23-0 shutout of Gang Green, thanks to wide receiver Demaryius Thomas's big game and a return of Denver's stingy defense. Thomas caught 8 passes for 93 yards and a touchdown as the 4-9 Broncos avoided tying their franchise futility record of 9 consecutive losses set way back in 1967. Meanwhile, just when things were looking up for the Jets, they hit rock bottom against the Broncos with possibly their worst offensive showing in team history. The 5-8 Jets were limited to just 100 yards of offense, 59 on the ground and 41 through the air. But what's worse is what happened to veteran quarterback Josh McCown. He was knocked from the game twice by hard hits, including a clean shot by pass rusher Shane Ray in the third quarter that left McCown with an injured left hand. He needs surgery. He's done for the season. His replacement, Bryce Petty, was 2 of 9 for 14 yards. He'll get the start this Sunday against the 9-4 Saints in New Orleans. The Jets could try Christian Hackenberg at some point as well. As for the Giants, Eli Manning is still the starter, but I would think following last Sunday's 30-10 loss to Dallas, that Big Blue fans could see rookie Davis Webb take some snaps in the final games of the season. Giant fans were certainly happy about the return of Super Bowl legend Manning under center. Things were looking great until the fourth quarter last Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Here's more. The Giants return to MetLife Stadium on Sunday with a new head coach and a familiar face under center for Big Blue, but unfortunately the result was still the same against rival Dallas as the Giants, despite a spirited effort, lost 30-10.
I'm really proud of the men in that locker room. I told them that after all we went through this week. I thought the way we came out and the way we played for 3.5 quarters was something we could be proud of. We do have to figure out a way in the fourth quarter when it gets down to gut-wrenching time to make a play or two.
Manning finished 31 of 46 for 228 yards with a touchdown and 2 interceptions after a whirlwind 2 weeks that saw an outcry over his benching. followed by his eventual reinsertion into the starting lineup. Both interceptions came in the fourth quarter.
I thought we had a good crowd today, and appreciate all their support these past weeks, and sorry we couldn't give them a better game today. It'd be easy to complain and to bark at each other and say it's not fair or one side's not doing their part, but we haven't fallen into that trap. But we got some high character guys on this team. We just don't have the just kind of that firepower to finish some of these games.
The Giants welcome the 11-2 Philadelphia Eagles to East Rutherford this Sunday. Only saving grace for the G-men is not having to face star quarterback Carson Wentz, who tore his ACL last weekend. Nonetheless, the NFC East leading Eagles still managed to pull it together with Nick Foles under center. On the ice, it's been a tough week for the Rangers. They opened the week Monday at home against Dallas and fell 2-1 in a shootout. We go back inside the locker room for more.
It took us a long time to get going here, 2 periods. I thought our third period was a little bit better, but at the same time, we're too far into the season here to have, a game like this where we're now coming up with pucks, not moving our feet, not connecting the dots. I mean, they're a quick team and they're a heavy team at the same time. We can play with some pace. We've proven it before.
You got to forget about this game right now. I think everyone felt embarrassed about the first 2 periods, how we competed and how we handle ourselves. So we came in strong in the third, and I think everyone expects it. That the next game we need to show up. So.
There's nothing really to feel good about. I feel good about how Pavs played. I think we didn't generate much, and the other team played really well. Their goalie obviously shut down the looks we did have, but we understand. We need to be a lot better, and I think we're thankful that we have a lot of games and not too many days, and not time to think about this one.
Yeah, well, I think they spent a lot of time in our end, and the penalty kill, we did a hell of a job over there. I think we did a great job, but that's helped them to stay in our zone a little bit, but we had some chances there. So, it's you have to give the credit to Lehtonen. He didn't see a lot of shots, but he made some really good saves. So, tough loss again.
The Broadway Blue Shirts return to action on Wednesday in Ottawa and lost 3-2 in Canada. The Rangers are home tonight for the LA Kings and back in action Saturday against the Bruins in Boston. As for the other locals, the New Jersey Devils will host Dallas, and the Islanders welcome the Kings to Brooklyn tomorrow night. Rivalry week for the Knicks here in New York. Kristaps Porzingis and the Knicks took down Lonzo Ball and the upstart LA Lakers in overtime Tuesday night, and we're back in action last night in Brooklyn. Courtney Lee scored 18 of his 27 points in the second half, and the Orange and Blue held on to beat the Nets 111-104 after losing star forward Porzingis to a sore left knee early in the second half. Spencer Dinwiddie had 26 for the Nets. Check this out.
I think it was a fun game. It was physical, very physical. Guys, Von Baker had 2 blocks. It was fun to watch. And our guys would just play really hard, and we try to match their intensity. We know they play really hard, and they play with a lot of energy, and we try to match them, and we were able to. Courtney made some big plays at the end, and we were able to get the win.
Yeah, the fact that he went out obviously is the leader of this team. So we took a moment to adjust, but we did it good at the end of the game. We played very good. We played very good defensively, which allowed us to run after and to get some easy basket and to get in the rhythm. So we did a great job.
It's tough when you put that much energy into a run. We just got to find a way to be able to not get down by 17 to start with. That way, when we go on those runs, we're able to go up by 10 or so. But you got to give them a lot of credit. They did a great job coming back at us. Both in the second quarter, we went on a run, and the third quarter, they were able to keep us from maintaining that momentum we had.
They did a great job. That's what their MO is. That's how they play, and they stuck to their style, and we weren't able to combat that.
Honestly, we wasn't aggressive, man. We wasn't. It's kind of like talking about competing. We weren't competing and getting back, transition defense. They kind of wanted it more in the first half.
Now the Orange and Blue will welcome former star Carmelo Anthony and the Oklahoma City Thunder to the world's most famous arena on Saturday night. It's Melo's first game back since departing for OKC this summer. That game tips at 7:30 p.m. If you can fathom it, the Thunder are 13-14, 2 wins behind the 15-13 Knicks. Carmelo Anthony. The Nets will be in Toronto tonight and back home for Indiana on Sunday. And on a final sports roundup note, the evil empire is back in the Bronx. The Yankees and GM Brian Cashman have done it again. They stole the back pages this week with the addition of Giancarlo Stanton from Miami. The National League Most Valuable Player is bound for the BX. He was introduced Monday at the winter meetings in Florida. The Yanks shipped out all-star second baseman Starlin Castro and 2 prospects while assuming $265 million of what's left on the Stars' mega contract. Not surprisingly, Yanks are now favored in Las Vegas to win the World Series. Rena, order is restored in the universe. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for some final thoughts on the Pinstripers. Brian Cashman had been the subject of a bit of second guessing in recent weeks for replacing manager Joe Girardi with Aaron Boone and losing out on Japanese prospect Shohei Ohtani, who is injured, by the way. That news came out this week. When there were rumblings the Yanks might be interested in Stanton, the smart money assumed the Marlins were merely trying to get the LA Dodgers to sweeten the pot. Instead, Cashman swept in and got one of the top 5 players in baseball for an everyday player who was about to lose his job to star prospect Gleyber Torres. Torres, the best prospect in all of baseball, finds a home because of the Stanton deal. It was clear last year that the 21-year-old Torres was ready for the majors. He's a natural shortstop, but the Yankees have Didi Gregorius at short, so Torres got some playing time at second in the minors. The Yanks also dealt Chase Headley this week, freeing up the prospects of another big player coming back. That could be Todd Frazier playing third, or top prospect Miguel Andujar getting the job. Now the Yanks infield of the future makes more sense. Gregorius at short, Torres at second, Andujar at third. The Stanton deal is also a boost for Aaron Judge. Judge is modest, almost to a fault, totally happy to be a number 2 hitter who hit 52 home runs, which means that he'll see Stanton as a support rather than a threat. Judge will learn from Stanton's approach at the plate. They're both gigantic right-handed sluggers while letting Stanton absorb most of the heat from the media. In other words, the Yanks got number 27 this week. That's Stanton's number, and that likely means World Series victory number 28 is next. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Yankee fans. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight.
The Open Artist Spotlight is made possible in part with public funds from the Bronx Council on the Arts through the New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program.
This week's Spotlight shines on a talented and classically trained singer who grew up in Poland, but, well, she earned her master's degree from the Music Conservatory of Music at Brooklyn College. She's performed in jazz clubs across the city, as well as stages such as Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center. Performing for us now, please welcome singer Margot Staniszewska.
There is a hope, there is a life, there is a way, there is a hope, there is a life, there is a way, there is a hope, there is a life, there is a way. There is a hope, there is a life. is a way, there is a hope, there is life. There is a way, there is the hope, there is life. There is a way, there is the hope, there is life. There is the way, there is the hope, there is the life. There is a way, there is a hope, there is the life. There is a way, there is a hope, there is the life.
Ooh, Margot. Oh, thank you, thank you. That was a nice conclusion to our, I guess, theme of life and the holidays and just being reflective. What were those verses you were saying? There is a way.
The way, the hope, and the life.
The way, the hope, and the life. And I think that's a really good conclusion to today's show.
Yes.
Yes,
Very
yes.
reflective.
Indeed. Yes, yes, yes. So let's just share a little bit with our audience about your journey from Poland.
Yes, all the way to New York. It was my dream to come here. And I graduated from Brooklyn College.
So how long have you been in New York?
I've been here for 15 years. And trying to do my performances. Studied at Brooklyn College. I sing with New York Lyric Opera. I sang at Carnegie Hall, National Opera Center, Lincoln Center Symphony Space. I also have my jazz ensemble, and I'm writing my music and trying to have as many performances as I can have. I'm working on my CD. I'll be singing next week at Silvana Jazz Club.
At Silvana's Jazz Club, where's that?
116th Street in Harlem, like Central Harlem.
Central Harlem, the west side.
Yes. This Sunday I have a Christmas show at the church in Brooklyn, St. Rose of Lima. And
Yeah, you do a lot of work with churches, right?
A lot of, yes, because I'm working as a music director at a church. And January I'll be performing at Shrine. It's also in Harlem. And
it sounds like you have a lot of performances, and you were looking to work more.
Yeah, at El Barrio Art Space,
yes,
PS 109
right,
on
right.
Friday.
On Friday,
we will have a Christmas. I mean, like a holiday show.
Do you ever do anything in your language, in your native language?
Yes, I have a lot of performances in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint, for Polish community, and sometimes during the show I sing both, like let's say, like half song in Polish and half in English, because I worked. I wrote the music to pieces written by Polish poets. So I do it in Polish and in English, both at the same time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Giving light to your Polish community and your ancestry and your history.
Yes.
Lovely. Oh my gosh, and you shared a little bit with us here on Open, and we thank you. I know you're going to close us out with another song.
Yes.
Margot, so lovely to have you here once again. You guys, for more information on Margot, you can search for her on Facebook at Margorzata, that's her full name, Margorzata, and Staniszewska. I said it right? Staniszewska.
Yes, very good.
Yes, Staniszewska with a W that's silent in there or pronounced like a V. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through. And to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor, keep hope alive, and we leave you with Margot.
Thank you.
Funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine. Stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine.